Welcome back, everyone. And of course, we drew 1-1 with FC Twente, which, in my opinion, was a very lethargic and complacent performance. We should have showed more urgency. We should have showed at least a better attitude to go and kill the game, like Ten Hag said. But it's kind of ironic because before the game, he himself said that he doesn't want to hurt the things that he loves. And then you look at our performance last night and you ask yourself the question, did he motivate the players correctly? Did Ruud van Nistelrooy motivate the players correctly? And you would expect them to have done so. I mean, with the way Ten Hag talks about his love for top football, and we know Ruud van Nistelrooy being the winner that he is, surely they must have motivated the players at half time for the second half to be better. Now, of course, in the first half, we controlled the game. There were chances that Twente created, but it wasn't clear cut chances that caused us any issues. Yes, they were winning a lot of the second ball, trying to go long and then playing from there. And it worked for them at certain times. But we seemed to be in control. And we should have capitalized on that. But it seemed like when we got to the final third, when we got to Twente's box, we simply did not play the passes that were there. We were not shooting when the opportunities arose. And that is confusing to me because we're already struggling to score goals. But for some reason, we have a reluctancy to finish. And when we get the chances, we are not clinical enough with those chances. And at 1-0, you are always vulnerable to concede or even bring a team back into the game. And the longer a game stays at 1-0, the more belief the opponent gets to try and get something out of it. And that's what Twente got. Now, the goal that they scored was due to quite a few errors, not just Eriksson, who decided to turn in a dangerous area. There were very moments that were ahead of the game in that, whereas from the right back, it was actually Twente's goal kick. And from that, their right back ran right past Rashford, ran right past Bruno. He clearly bypassed Dallo, who was not in the correct position and he's supposed to be playing left back. Maguire decided to come and dive in, running past Ugarte, running past Eriksson, completely vacating his position as a centre back. And because Eriksson made the mistake, there was nobody behind him to cover him. And yes, you can say Eriksson should have played the ball back to Onana. Eriksson shouldn't be turning in that area. He should be more intelligent, which you expect of him. But you also have to be mindful of the fact that this could have been stopped way ahead before Christian Eriksen gets the ball in that area, because Rashford didn't put in a tackle that was worthy enough. Bruno simply let the person bypass him. Dallo didn't take him down, and it got up until Ugarte to make a tackle, and still that wasn't good enough because it ended up in a goal against us. So that seemed to me more like an error of Ten Hag's system, simply because it was a question of who's going to tackle him. The right back just kept on running and running and eventually got a bit of luck with that particular press that they did against Ericsson. But we still had enough time after that moment to go and win the game. There was 25 minutes plus the added time to go and get a second or a third goal. But there wasn't any urgency. And the changes that Ten Hag makes doesn't help the team. Rashford was having a good game and certainly should not have been taken off, in my opinion. Xerxes was linking up the play as we expect him to and doing it well at that. And Ahmad was beating his defender time and time again. Why did Ten Hag change the entire front three? Garnacho came on and again was electrifying and showed an impact, but did not have the end product. Hoyland came on and was a passenger. Mason Mount came on and he was supposed to be behind Hoyland, but Ten Hag kept Bruno on, who was having a bad game in my opinion. He was moved to the right hand side, which is not his best position. He became a ghost after he got moved to the right hand side. And what was the point of moving him to the right hand side if he's not going to cross balls into the box for a Hoyland or a Garnacho or anyone else who decides to get into the box for us? Mainu came on and had a bit of an impact, but I mean, it's asking a lot of him to come on and try and win us the game. He's capable, but that's not his primary job. Ugarte himself after the game said on a personal level he was disappointed in his performance. And I wouldn't say he had a bad performance. I think just the way we played the game, the lack of urgency to go and score and kill Twente off, especially with us being at home, it was very disappointing. And Ten Hag, after the game, agreed with Eriksen, where Eriksen said that Twente wanted it more than us, and that cannot be right. Eriksen said this himself. That cannot happen. How is it possible that one of our players and our manager can say that a team has come to Old Trafford and they've given more than what we have? That cannot happen. It is impossible. We need to have a certain standard. We need to be putting teams to the sword and winning these games. Ten Hag needs to start getting wins under his belt because the pressure is only mounting on him. And if we continue to have these results, which are draws, and if we start losing more games, I don't think Ten Hag will be surviving as the manager of Manchester United, at least till the end of the season. We know that Ineos, in the transfer window, was looking at other managers to replace him if they were available. But there wasn't anyone better than Ten Hag to a point. So they stuck with him, they extended his contract, and they trusted and backed him by buying the players that he needed. On the one hand, you can say we're still in a transition period. We are still trying to find the best blend in terms of our attack because our defense is quite fine. Besides the mistake that was made for Twente's goal, we've kept 3 clean sheets in a row before last night's game. And we could have kept another clean sheet if not for that individual error that we saw. But in all, the defense is solid enough. We still have Luke Shaw to come back. Malacia has started training. Mazraoui has been excellent every game he's played. De Ligt was rested last night and arguably probably should have started next to Martinez. Martinez, as wild and as physical as he is, continues to be one of our best centre-backs that we have at the club, if not the best, and that you can argue about it yourself if you would like to do so. But defensively, we do not have any issues. Even in midfield, with Ugarte, Casemiro, Collier at times, Mainu, we do have players in midfield and options to place different types of ways. But it is the attack that is killing us because we do not know what our best front three is. Do we play with Xerxes, who gives the team a better edge to play with up front in terms of link-up play? Do we play Hoyland, who's more of a goal scorer and wanting to be at the end of our build-up play? Do we play Rashford continually? Do we play Garnacho continually on the left-hand side? That is a competition between the two of them, which is kind of neck and neck. They both score, they both get assists, they both have good performances. Whoever you go with, it is only based on the manager's discretion. On the right-hand side, Ahmad has locked down the right wing. Anthony can't get a game to save his life, even against teams that he used to play against in the Eredivisie under Ten Hag, to the point that Ten Hag is putting Bruno on the right-hand side and not even giving Anthony a game. That says a lot about Anthony and his position at Man United. So for me, last night's game was disappointing, as I said, and I don't think that these type of performances can continue. We play Spurs next on the weekend, and we normally say, yes, it's only Spurs and we should be winning these games, but we can't guarantee that. There isn't this confidence in our foundation in order to say, no, we're going to win that game, because it's Spurs, then it's Aston Villa, it's Porto coming, it's Brentford, it's West Ham. We even have Chelsea still to come, who in themselves are probably a much better team than what we are right now because of Ten Hag constantly making changes to the team and using rotation as an excuse when he simply can just pick his strongest 11 and play them as his core. But he's so afraid to leave certain players out and to drop certain players or to bench certain players because of what the media is going to say. It is hurting us as a team. And Ten Hag not knowing his strongest 11 or having 11 players that he fully trusts, that does hurt him as a manager because he's left with having to make bit-part decisions that does affect us in the games as we see. We have to be better. We can't perform the way we do with a lack of urgency. Mentality cannot be the issue 3 years into Ten Hag's reign. That cannot be the case. So for me, like I said, the performance was disappointing and we have to do better. But we'll see what happens in the next game. We have to keep moving forward. That's how football works. The game comes, it happens, it goes, and we have to move on. But till I see you guys again, enjoy the day. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.